Hills FM radio station, using our voice to rate your choice. Stay tuned.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to 90.8 Hills FM. This is your RJ Gugu Haralu. We're back to one of the voice for change, and that is somebody that I want to introduce you. And I'm sure the coffee lovers today would love listening to this interview today. His name is Vivito Yeptho. He is the co-founder and managing director of the Nagaland Coffee here in Dimapur, and we're very happy to have him here at our studio. Welcome, V.
Yeah, welcome.
So, I thought of having the coffee corner now, and there are a lot of people that needs to be invited and spoken about, and also the journey. But today is a day that I would like to start with V. In fact, that's something that I cut short with from Vivito, and I hope Vivito wouldn't mind me calling him V. I also hear that he has another name called Avi, right? So he's got three names now. V, the coffee culture, very new, but we can't even say it's new because it's been there for a while now, right? So, how about you tell us how did the journey of our coffee in Nagaland started?
Basically, it started in the year 2016 when Dr. Peter Vermeulen, a coffee specialist from South Africa, came all the way to India, and then he heard that there are coffee trees planted in Nagaland, but then it was abundant. So he wanted, being a coffee enthusiast, he wanted to explore, and so he visited Nagaland, and he took a few samples and he roasted, and he tasted, and then he was like, "Wow, this could be one of the best, not only in India but also in the world." So that's where he started to encourage the farmers, and also made a proposal to the Department of Land Resources that why not we start a coffee a revolution, that it can also encourage not only the farmers but also the people here in Nagaland. So that's where I met Dr. Peter. By then, I was working in Amazon, but then I was back for holidays, and then my dad introduced Dr. Peter to me, and then he gave me a proposal. Said, "Hey, are you interested in coffee?" By then, I didn't know, a coffee was just a milk coffee thing. I didn't know what it was, Americano or a cappuccino. I was like blindly. I had a thought, and he was like, I'm interested in introducing this Nagaland coffee to the world. So he wanted to export this coffee. So the reason that got a I got a hint of interest is my subject when I was in university was international marketing. So that really linked me to what I was studying. So I was like, okay, fine, maybe this is this is what God has planned for me, opening the way that what I've studied. So I said blindly, I said, okay, let's do it, and then from there I feel this coffee revolution really started. So slowly people started to know the benefits of coffee, know the taste of how drinking coffee is, because being a state or a country dominated by tea, and when they say coffee, it's like instant coffee, that's it. Filter coffee was like unknown. What is that? And Dr. Peter really came and revolutionized that the way of drinking filter coffee in Nagaland. So I would say that's how it started.
Wow, I can resonate because the only coffee that I know is, the milk
Yeah.
coffee. And in the cities, when we go, you have all these varieties,
Yes.
right? And I got attracted to Starbucks, okay?
Right.
But I think it's the brand,
Yeah.
the feel good thing. But literally getting down to what is really a coffee or the coffee culture. Outside it's different. Coming back home, as you've said, I wouldn't say, neither can we say it's new anymore. It's already part of our lifestyle now. Slowly it is entering our homes, right? So the transition is one side, but you shared about you being out working in Amazon, and that's a completely a different feel of work, and then shifting to something that you never thought about, but you took it by, gracefully saying that it may have been God's wish and calling. How I mean, what were the challenges? Perhaps we can, maybe it's too early to say, but I will want to start that off because the beginning of changing from one, area to another takes a lot from an individual. One may have all the things available to make it happen, but for an individual to say yes to a new venture, it takes a lot out of that. So, what did you go through? Is it all right if we can know that? I'm sure the listeners, because see, we've got a lot of young people who have also transitioned, and their story is a guide to many people who are starting off. And we're hoping to hear and learn from you also.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, there were a couple of challenges. I worked in Amazon for a year, and to be honest, I enjoyed my work there. It was quite there it was like a family. It was not more of like a boss and an employee, but a leadership. There was an environment of friendliness, and that community was very close. But I always felt that being a Naga, I cannot keep working here my entire life. I would go back and do something for the society. I was just thinking, but I had no clue. I was trying to think, what would I do if I leave this job? That's where. Dr. Peter came into into place, and then that's how I met. And honest to be honest, I really love working in Amazon. But when I see my future, I feel that my future wasn't here, and I feel that my future was back home, and that's where I decided that let me just take, because I feel that being an entrepreneur or being into business, if you don't take risk, then you will not be successful, I feel, because taking risks gives you more challenges, gives you more to think and to be more innovative. So that's how I honestly speaking blindly joined, but with confidence and with faith that God will guide me. Initially, when we started this coffee business in Nagaland, the first challenge was, what is filter coffee? You know, what is that? Everybody, almost like 95% of them were asking, is this an instant coffee? Is this how we drink like an instant coffee? And some people even, came and told me in my face that your coffee tastes really horrible. And that's where I realized they were brewing it the wrong way. They were brewing it like they were brewing it as an instant coffee, And that's where I realized, oh no, I need to educate, the people of how to brew filter coffee. So we came up with a pamphlet that whenever they buy our coffee, we give that a small brochure with a mini instruction there. That's how it took off, and I'm really really thankful to my coffee community guys, and I would really appreciate them for their work, because this wouldn't have been possible without them. Me being alone introducing this new set of coffee in Nagaland would have not been possible without them. They are also my friends, like Dili from D Cafe, Lichan from Ate Coffee, and Atsi from Farmer Square. They've really come together and try to educate the people. Now, I would say it has grown so much from where we started back in 2016, and some people are even shifting from tea to coffee. That's amazing. There was a guy who came to our coffee shop. He keeps drinking just green tea. So what I did was I offered him free espresso. He didn't like it, so I every time he comes, I made sure that I told my team that whenever you see this person, you have to offer him free coffee. Okay? And I kept offering him. He refused, but he kept drinking. Okay, since it's free, let me just taste it. Now, then later on, he can't go without without drinking coffee a day. So he keeps coming. So he was like amazed. So I guess that's how the transition occurs, and I'm really glad that people are starting to know filter coffee in Nagaland, and yeah, that's one thing. And other challenges was. Filter coffee is not like instant coffee. See, instant coffee is when you buy and you brew it, you don't need extra equipment. For a filter coffee, you need an extra equipment. So that's what another. So people were like, why would I buy? Why would I invest 700 to 800 bucks just to make another coffee? Where I can drink an instant coffee without
Exactly.
without that. So that was the biggest challenge. So we even tried to resolve that resolution. So we came up with a brand that was really giving us. The equipments at a very reasonable rate. So that's how we slowly started. We started selling in our cafes, and then giving them at a good rate. And so that's how they slowly started getting to know and brew the coffee. So that's one of the thing. And yeah, I guess that's that's those are the one.
That's a lot,
Yeah.
actually. And it's so true, the transition.
Yeah.
And I liked how you were very persuasive with this particular client of
Yeah.
yours, and you made sure the taste would settle,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it takes time
Yeah.
for a new taste to settle. I mean, of course, there are certain ingredients, the moment you taste, it stays with you. But coffee is something to really appreciate, and appreciation takes time. And I like how you also spoke about how people were quite confused about what is a filter coffee. Of course, there are many names, but we don't know how do you prepare, because we've only known about sugar, milk,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and coffee, and stir it, and then it's
Yes. Yes.
done.
Yes.
But this is a very different culture altogether. I would also want to speak on the process. I read in one of the articles that where Dr. Peter had spoken about how global warming has contributed in the climate change of growing cotton in Nagaland. You know, so in one way, it's a plus point. One way, obviously, global warming is not something that we welcome, but it's, I believe, that we humans have contributed to that climate change too. But it has also added an advantage here in growing cotton. Coffee. I wanted to know from you that when you were, or when Dr. Peter on his journey with all of you together, your conversation with farmers, the as he rightly also said, that it wasn't easy for the farmers to grow something that is not even part of their lifestyle, right? Something they don't even consume, right? And the other part he spoke about, if you grow rice, you're growing for you and your family. But if you grow coffee, you are growing it for your children and grandchildren. So, you mind sharing a little bit about this philosophy behind coffee?
Actually, okay. I don't know where he's coming. He's bringing that up. I may be wrong. Because I can't. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be able to elaborate exactly what he meant. But according to my understanding, see, coffee was in Nagaland even in the 1980s. So it was growing back then. The problem was they couldn't get the buyers. The main problem was the buyers. So what happened was, way back in the 1980s and the 1990s, they were third-party buyers buying the coffee at a very, very cheap rate, which really discouraged the farmers because they're working day and night for a coffee, especially Arabica. You really need intensive care. If it's a robusta, that's fine. But for an Arabica, you really need intensive care. And being in Nagaland, being hilly places, hill districts for most of the places, mostly Arabica is grown. So we really need hard work there. We really need to give our dedication, our time. And when they've done so much and when they're getting small in return, that really discouraged the farmers. And that's how they stopped planting coffee. And it was abundant for years and years. And then Dr. Peter came and then he saw the farms. And there were few farms that was left growing, very few. And that's how he spoke with the department, because as that time department until now department is they're looking after the coffee, the whole of coffee, na? So that's how he made an proposal to the department that to supply samplings and seeds to the farmers for free, and then we will buy it at a international rate. So that's like a New York Stock Exchange, so that transparency is made. Whatever you're buying, it's been done everywhere. So that's how we encourage the farmers, and that really brought back this coffee plantation in Nagaland. So, for example, like back then, they were buying it at like 20, 30 rupees per kg. That was like crazy. And now we're offering them, say around 350, 400 per kg. Wow. So yeah, so that really boosts the farmers. And what Peter said about the coffee for the generation, I may be wrong, but according to my understanding is this coffee, it will give what do you call, it will give them sustainability. It will give them an income even to their generations to come, because this coffee revolution in Nagaland is growing. It's not declining, it's growing. So by the time their great grandchildren reaches, who knows, and the price is going up. The cost of buying the coffee is going. So by the time it may reach 1,000 or 2,000 rupees per kg by the time. So I feel that that's what Dr. Peter was trying to explain. I may be wrong. So that's the thing that happened, and now the farmers are really encouraged. I'm not the only buyer. There are other buyers, and they're also all giving them at good rates. And so it's like, in a way, we're also creating sustainable economy to the farmers. So that's what it's happening right now. Yeah.
So I'm very interested now, as you spoke about, and I think you did your best in explaining and elaborating what Dr. Peter may have meant. And it's good because it's coming from the positive side.
Yes, yes.
You said also now that the mindset changing of the farmers, where they also see the sustainability and sense of security is very important for any individual on this earth. And also the lifestyle changing of having, for the generation to come to carry forward the work, because it's part of like generation to generation, and I'm sure that the cotton. I'm sorry, again, I'm going back to cotton. This is why I think I'm sitting with somebody who's so passionate about coffee, and I'm somebody who's passionate about cotton. So there's a thing, and I understand that passion, because it just gives you so much of joy. And as you've said, how challenges brings us to be more innovative. And that's the journey I'm also with when it comes to cotton. You said it's been there since 1980s. It's not something new, and it was brought back to life, you see. And that's the kind of cotton revolution I'm also doing with the farmers.
I see. I see.
So that's another piece of news why you must be thinking, why is Gugu coming
Yeah.
out with cotton, you know? But that's the effort. And that's where I also relate well with coffee. You know, I said, you know what? Coffee has been there as far as I've read. But for somebody to come back and revive it, uh, that takes a lot, because even for the cotton revolution or cotton movement or reviving to happen in Nagaland, it's such a challenge, because the same question of people don't see the need of it, because there's so many items available, readily available, and the farmers, they don't want to. And first of all, even for cotton also, it's the same thing, you know, same similar stories, no? So now my question is, the farmers, as you have said earlier, the third party would pay a certain amount, and now it has actually, I think, 10 times, more than 10 times. Has that also changed in terms of, people coming to you for advice and consultation? Are you consulting to other individuals and parties who may be, interested to grow coffee?
Yeah, yeah, we do. So we do. For me, I keep conducting workshops. It's been divided into certain parts. Like we do from crop to cup. We do farming techniques. We do processing. We do green beans, because coffee is not something you can master it in a day or two. It takes years, because every section, there's a lot to learn. So that's what I do. The second thing is, we do go to all their farms, and we do workshops, on the spot, and then we do quality check, and we guide them what can be the best, for the coffee to grow, and what can be best so that the coffee quality is high. That's what we do. I also We also keep interns in our cafe for our to know more about coffee. So that's what we have been doing, and that's what we'll be doing. So because coffee harvest, it's once a year. So within that harvest, we try to go to each of the farms that's growing coffee, and then we have a look, we do a quality check, and then we guide them accordingly. Or whenever they come, we always guide them. Some come personally, some we go to their places. So yeah, that's what we have been doing.
So if I was an intending coffee grower, yeah, and I come to you, what is the procedure?
Oh yeah. So the procedure would be like, the first is, because since the land resources, they supply the samplings and the seeds, so and that's free. So I would request, like, you to approach them, because they have the samplings, and then after which you can contact us, and then we can come to your place, wherever you're going, so we can do a short workshop, or when you're planting, we can be there to guide you on how to plant, where to plant, what are the factors and all. So that's what we have been doing. And yeah.
So does that mean, so let's say you're saying that land, right? Land resources, we go there, get the sampling, right? And then when we come to you as a consultant, do we have to pay you anything?
No, 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 we
Okay.
don't, we don't, we
I'm
don't.
asking this because I want the listeners to
Yes,
know,
yes, yes,
you
yes.
know.
We
Yeah.
don't take anything.
Yes.
It's not because we have it or such like that, but we want to help the community, and especially the farmers, and we know how they have been in the past, and we don't want that same thing to happen. So we do it for free. We don't charge anything.
So, listeners, I hope you got that right, because many a times when we don't know something, we also have this fear of how to ask. Na?
Right, right.
Kiniga hodiwo.
Right, right.
Aru, they also, sometimes, I wouldn't say they, we also feel that, am I asking the right question? You know? So we don't want to look stupid.
Yes, yes.
So for us Nagas though, we take that very heavily.
yeah,
Now we don't
yeah,
want to look stupid even if we don't know. So we want to make this effort through this community radio that all these informations are important for our listeners to know how to go about. With so much of information, sometimes we don't know how to go about, whom to contact. So please get in touch with Vivito in his Nagaland Coffee, and he would be very happy to assist and also support and mentor if you are interested or you are getting interested to the idea of growing cotton. Again, cotton. My goodness, I think I'll go
okay.
mad, you know. But I think
okay.
Vivito by now and the listeners might be now, okay, Gugu is for cotton and Vivito is for coffee. Okay.
Yeah, who knows? I might start saying cotton also.
So you can imagine how injected it is, you know. Yeah, addicted to it. So regarding the coffee, what is very important is he has also shared about it is not something we learn overnight, which means we have to be committed, we have to be dedicated, we have to be sincere, and also be willing to sacrifice. So we have a city boy coming back home, and I think this is something in our young generation that we need to also continue saying, V, because we've all lived in the cities. We've had exposure. We've had, I think we've taken the best of our experiences from our metropolitan lifestyles, and we've come back home. And we've also had the other side where our contemporaries have also come, but they've left out of frustration. And this is something that I'm bringing up in many of my conversations these days, because we want our listeners to understand that we're all called differently. At least we try. Without trying, we can't make an assumption, oh, naparibo, na? And unfortunately, some of us, we are lucky in the sense that, you know, me and my friend, or you and your friend may have started it together. Your friend or my friend may have left and we continued to stay back. Perhaps our destinies are different. But the message is that we need to keep making an effort and give our best. And meeting the right people is also important. And when we meet the wrong people, it's also just a lesson, not to take it to our heart and say that that's the end of the story. Coffee culture, I mean, I get really excited about coffee is because, first of all, it's for me an adrenal rush. Okay, it keeps me awake. But I never drink coffee at night because it doesn't make me sleep. Yeah?
Right.
But coffee is something, the aroma, you know, oh, the smell of the coffee room, it just lightens up your, you know, the weakest part of your body, you know. So what is the role of coffee in your life every day, V?
My life would be yeah, I do drink coffee. For me, maybe it's because I'm used to drinking, because you know, being in the coffee business, we do a lot of tasting, we do a lot of cupping in our roastery and even in our cafes. So I guess that's the thing, that even if I drink it in the evening or at night, I sleep I sleep like a log.
Really?
Yeah. So maybe because initially I don't drink at night, like you said. It's, you know, that caffeine really kicks in, and then it's difficult to sleep. But getting used to, you know, drinking a lot of coffee, especially, of course, my routine is usually in the morning best. It's best, and I usually drink a darker roast coffee. And in the evening, you know, morning I go for a black coffee, and in the afternoon or late evenings I go for a milk coffee. That's a cappuccino or a latte. So, but between that, when I'm doing when I'm roasting it, because it's mandatory for us to, you know, to taste all the coffee, coffee which we have roasted. So that's how, you know, I got used to drinking a couple of coffees. So
Do you get high on coffee?
Not exactly, but at the end of the day, when you're, of course, when you're roasting 2, 3 batches, that's fine. But when you're roasting it in terms of 10s and 15s, and then you're coming, you feel like you don't want to even see the coffee at the end of the day. So that's one thing, yeah. So yeah.
So that's interesting. How does your tongue feel after drinking, tasting every coffee that you need to?
It's that the funny thing is, after tasting that much of coffee, even if you try to flush it with drinking water or juice or anything, that thing still stays, at least for a day or two. And that's,
Really?
yeah, it's, yeah, but what to do? I'm into this business, so I have to accept it.
So when you started initially tasting, right? How did you feel? And did you at some point feel that, okay, this is not for me?
Yeah, I mean, I it was difficult. It was, there was a dilemma whether, like, I want to go. I'm interested doing this coffee, but I don't want to taste this much of coffee. That was the confusion. But then Dr. Peter really, he really pushed me that if you are serious about coffee, you cannot move on if you don't taste taste it. So that's because initially he taught me how to taste and how to go about. No? So we do taste together, and then yeah, sometimes I skip the taste when he's not looking. And I say this, okay, this is like this, when he asks. But then now, though, yeah, I got used to it. So I guess it's pretty much like the example I said before, that the client that who used to come to our coffee shop and he didn't like the coffee, and then slowly he started, I guess it's done as you progress.
So it's very interesting that this client of yours didn't say no to your offer.
Yeah, actually, he's like, he doesn't drink coffee. He said. So, but I said, why don't you just try it? It's something different. I told him. So he's like, it tastes so bitter. He said. So initially, he even added sugar in an espresso. Who puts sugar in an espresso? He did.
I think I would also put sugar in espresso.
Okay, so because once you get the hang of an espresso, you can drink any coffee, because espresso
Really?
is, because espresso is like, it's like, oh, how do you put it? It's like the bitterness, the hardest of any coffee you can drink. Yeah.
So is it something like, okay, what comes to my mind as I listen to you is, it's like our Konyak brothers
Acha.
drinking that hard, dark tea.
Oh,
Nah.
yeah,
Something like that.
I think
it's so
like that.
bitter.
Yeah.
I mean, their tea leaf is also very strong, right?
Right.
So for me, I feel that our brothers that side would be very happy towards this bitter, because it's so strong. It's absolutely not
Right.
in our system.
Right.
But like you said, I think the taste settles down.
Yes, yes.
It's just that it's not part of our daily drinking habit, and we love sugar, right?
You're right.
So without sugar, it's like, oh my god, how can you even drink?
Right.
So I think I should try espresso next time. So what is the difference between cappuccino, latte?
See, let me start with espresso. So four classic drinks we have, and that any coffee shop you go, you will see those four classic drinks. That is espresso, americano, latte, and a cappuccino. Then the other extra drinks is, they can add it, they can customize it. It's up to them. But those four is always there. So espresso is a shot. Poured at a high pressure from an espresso machine. So in our coffee shop, we serve 30 ml, but that's not mandatory. In some coffee shops, they can have 40 ml, 45 ml. It's based on how their coffee tastes when they brew it. So for example, the coffee that I roast tastes best at 30 ml. So their coffee can taste best at 45 ml, 40 ml. So it's not a rule thing, but for me it's 30. So, but it's a shot. It's a shot of espresso, a very strong coffee. That's an espresso. Americano is what we call black coffee. When you say black coffee, it's an Americano. So Americano, the origin is, it's kind of funny. I don't know, because that's what coffee specialists and the coffee enthusiast has been telling over the years, because that, we were never born that time, way back in the 1940s and 50s, like when the Americans, they had a camping in Italy after the war. They wanted to order. They asked for a coffee, and then they served them espresso. And for these American soldiers, they felt that it was too hard, so they requested the barista to add water into the espresso. That's how that Americano came into being.
Oh,
Yeah, so,
how interesting.
yeah. So that's Americano is basically an espresso, a shot of espresso with water in it. So it can be water first, espresso on top, or espresso first, water on top. Nothing, it doesn't differ. Yeah, that's that's Americano. Latte and cappuccino is almost the same. It's just that the steaming of the milk, that's where it differs. For example, the steam in the latte, it has slightly more foam than it's called a microfoam, more than the cappuccino, but the quantity of the espresso remains the same. So that's basically it. Yeah.
I'm a cappuccino girl.
Okay.
Because there's milk and I can put sugar.
Yeah.
I think and the whole heart shape that
Yeah.
comes into. I think that
Latte art.
attracts. Yeah. So what's this heart shape?
It's called a latte art.
Oh.
Whenever I do my workshop, or whenever I give an internship or training to all the coffee enthusiasts, I always tell them that latte art is not a priority. Your latte art can be amazing, but your coffee can taste bad. That's the thing. You may not have a latte art. You may have a small or a big dot or a small dot on top, but your coffee can taste really good. So it all depends on how you brew the coffee. Latte art is like it's like a cherry on top. It's like you're adding an extra bonus to please your clients. Something like that. So, but it's always good if you do a latte art. It's always good because customers really appreciate it. And even me, when I never knew, when I didn't know a lot about coffee, I didn't know what the name was. So I always tell them that put the drink on the top. Please put the drink on the top and serve me. That's.
I think that's very, very nice.
Yeah.
Because it's very pleasing to your eye,
Yeah.
and presentation absolutely blows your mind.
Right.
Even to something that you have never tasted or seen before. So the art itself is, as you have rightly said, it's a cherry on top.
Yes,
but the
yes.
most important thing is the content.
Yeah.
So these days, what I do is, I've tasted cappuccino sometime in 2 minutes or 3 minutes, it's already cold. So I didn't understand. Is it me who made the the drink cold, or is it the milk? So I got really confused, and these days I would say cappuccino please, but please hot. So I'm just trying to understand from my taste bud, is it me who is at fault, or is it the way it is?
Yes. So people get confused about how to drink this the milk coffee, be it a latte or a cappuccino, because when we do the actual process of brewing a cappuccino or latte, is you have to steam the milk max at 70 to 80 degrees. 70 to 80 degrees. But the problem here is the people here, they find that cold. So that's the problem, because when you heat the milk above that, it burns the milk. And actually it's cappuccino and latte is supposed to be drank without sugar, because when you steam the milk, the lactose, the fructose, the glucose inside the milk, it creates its own sweetness inside the cup.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and of course, when you serve it, it's best if you can drink it as soon as possible, because
keep it.
That's another thing. But it doesn't have to. We can't argue with our clients. Then you have to drink like that, because this is this is how it is, If they tell us to make extra hot, no, we will not make extra hot. It's not like that. We always tend to listen to our clients. So it's nothing wrong there. We can always make them extra hot. We can always make steam it hotter. So we have few clients also that we know that when she comes, okay, she needs extra hot, so we make it extra hot. Or he makes it extra hot, So it's nothing, right? But the actual way of drinking it is like that. So heat it around 70 to 80 degrees, and then serve it, and then drink it as soon as possible. That's best.
But this is a very good information because we drink our tea as long as they're just next to us.
Yeah.
Khailo ho, kunoy ho na. We said thanda hua se na. So we still take that tea. Some people like it hot. Some people like it cold. So sometimes I tell my parents when I make tea, and I said, you know what? It's such a waste of the gas. If you're going to have cold tea, I might as well just make cold tea, not brew everything and then it's sitting there for 10-15 minutes and it's back to its cold temperature. But the reason why I also asked is we really need to understand the art behind the coffee culture. Now for example, we have the filtered coffee from the south, right? They have a certain way of brewing it and filtering it. So that's their definition, and that's what we enjoy, right? Likewise, when we are trying out something, a very new cuisine, so it's about taking the pleasure out of that process. It is not just picking it up and eating, but really enjoying food. So this culture of enjoying food, enjoying drinks is something we are yet to also appreciate. So when we say appreciating culture, when we say appreciating exotic cuisines, or things that is very new to our taste, but we're yet to get there. Hence this elaboration of asking you what is the difference between all these drinks that we have under coffee, because we get so confused when we look at the menu. At the end of the day, we're like, well, it's coffee, right? So it doesn't matter what name they're under, but they all taste different. And it would be obviously nice. I mean, of course, when we go out, we get a lot of education on the food menu. We ask, okay, what is this? Can you please tell me? How does it taste? There's one drawback I feel, and this is something. I'm a foodie person, and I keep hopping to every restaurant. Okay, but I'm not somebody who does like the Ratatouille movie, where you go and give your grades. But I've observed that in many restaurants and cafes, the stewards who are there have not tasted it.
I see.
So that's something that I've been wanting to say for a while.
Right.
That it would be so nice if the stewards who are working there, I wouldn't call them something else. I would rather call them in a more respectful way stewards. If they get an opportunity to taste the food and the drinks that is being served in the cafe or the restaurant, so that they are able to satisfy the customers when they ask. The menu is there, the ingredients are there, and then the steward is, has no clue how it tastes, you see. So I'm one such client.
Right.
I don't mean to be
understand.
picky, but I
I
always ask them, what would you recommend? So the steward should be in that full confidence by saying that it tastes awesome, but it is with experience.
Yes.
And it would also perhaps give a sense of ownership that they can also recommend the menu
Correct.
to customers and say that, well, my preference is this because it tastes like this, but you may like something else. So if your taste is towards the bitter side or towards the sweet side, they can actually take that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
So I'm not saying I know everything, but as a customer that I
Right,
go,
right. Yes,
and
yes.
when I interact with the person who is there, the steward, and when he or she says that, oh ma'am, I haven't tasted it, then it's like something is missing there.
Yes.
So how do we also fill that gap
Yeah.
and give them the confidence of the menu, because that is another added flavor, because when somebody has tasted it and also gives you the liberty to choose, it also speaks a lot about that place, that and I'm sure they would also like it, and they would know what is good in tasting and what perhaps this customer may like to try.
Correct,
Nah?
correct.
So do you think that kind of thing, or is it an expensive affair?
No, no, no. It's not. Pretty. That's pretty important, because unless we, as a, who is working there, taste it, it's and it's rather embarrassing if you don't know what you're serving.
No,
You don't.
seriously.
What does it taste like? I don't know. And, that would be quite embarrassing. So yeah, that's really true. That's really true, and I think we should imply that everywhere, because when we go out of Nagaland, everyone knows what is what.
Exactly. They
When
know
we,
it.
yeah. So they would say, they don't only say recommend. I recommend this, but they explain. They start to explain how it
Yes.
tastes like. They know. Okay, well, there's this, and then when you eat it, it's like that.
Yeah.
That's really nice. So yeah, we should bring that culture here also. Yes.
Yes,
That's very
because
true.
that also, not just because of the customer, but because of that for that individual also, to build that confidence.
Right, right.
And we're at the end of the day, we're all salesmen, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
it's an art. I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
look at it as an art. And hospitality industry
Yes,
is
yes.
such a beautiful industry.
right.
If we want to go towards the positive side, there's no limit to it. But if you want to go to the negative side, there's a big door in front of you. So how do we continue to improve, not just in the services, but it is in terms of the individual development also.
Yes,
So that is something that I really wish to see with our people, because it is not just speaking good English. You know,
That's true.
I don't know whether you like hip hopping in all the restaurants, but I'm one person who do that, and we sincerely need to work in a hospitality industry to be real. We need to be real.
Yes, yes,
Na
yes.
kali English ko pare la no hoy, but
Hoy.
to really have that heart to be able to speak with conviction, believing in the mantra of the work that you're attached to
Yes,
it.
yes.
Because if, for example, like let's take the example of this Hills FM community radio and taking your team, Nagaland Coffee, if our team don't believe in the mantra that is that having a conviction of the mission that we're into, it won't last for long. We wouldn't be able to retain each other. The success story wouldn't happen. The goals that we have ahead of us, we wouldn't be able to achieve as a team. So I think it's important, V, I'm sure you agree, right?
Yeah.
So how do you do this leadership mentoring with your team? Can you share a little bit about this?
We do have. You mean like guiding their team?
Yes,
or
you would
like-
be having refresher scores for your team time to time,
Acha.
apart from their roles and responsibilities. So how do you keep polishing them in the service industry?
Acha. I do we do have monthly meetings, and that's where I personally call them and then do an assessment of each one of them, and I keep reminding them what needs to be done, and I always tell them that this is what my professor said in my university whenever he comes before lecture. He was a marketing lecturer. He used to tell me that tell us, not me only, but then tell us that customers are king. No matter right or wrong, customers are king, and it's because of them that your business is growing. So that's what I try to imply it in our cafe, and also to the team, not only to my cafe but whoever needs comes to my for consultation. I always tell them that customers are king. You cannot argue with the customers. You cannot say that you're wrong, we are right, or no, that's not the way. Whatever it may be, you have to try your best to satisfy your customer. Like I said, that being a very simple example of what we talked about earlier about the cappuccino being hot or cold. We cannot argue that this is the right way of doing it. I will not hit your coffee. If it's like that, then that's it. Your business is gone only from there. So it yes, you for when you're drinking it on by yourself, you do it as you please. But when you're serving it to the customers, you do as what what they are told, no? So that's what I keep reminding them. And yeah, I feel that personal assessment to each one of them, personally meeting them and assisting them really helps, and also reminding them, because being in a industry where it's not just in a cafe, I cannot be 24/7 with them. So you need constant reminder, constant monitoring of them. So so far, yeah, it's they're doing quite well. I'm happy. I hope that this will continue. But that reminder and that assessment is it's really important. You cannot just say I've told them once. They should remember it all throughout. No, it's not, that doesn't happen. Even that doesn't happen to me. Also, when I was back in Amazon, my I was the relationship manager, and my senior manager always remind me that you have to do this every week, once a week. It's not even a month. Every week, first day of the week, he'll remind me, okay, did you do this, you have to do this is okay, fine. I just have to nod my head like that. So that really helped me to be consistent in my work. And then I get like, okay, fine, I need to do this or else he's going to ask me in the next week.
So it's part of your system already, right? The reminder.
Yeah.
So did it irritate you?
I mean, something which if I'm doing that, if I'm doing it and he's repeating the same, then of course I get a little bit. But that's at the end of the day, that's how it is, because he's not doing that to me only. He's doing that to everyone, in the team.
So why do you think a reminder is important?
Reminder for me, my understanding.
More from a professional perspective, and
Acha.
how does that have an impact in us?
Acha. A reminder is important, according to me, is like because we human beings, we tend to forget, and especially when we are doing something. When we have too many responsibilities, we tend to forget what needs to be done. So I feel that a constant reminder helps in that consistency, like you were saying about tasting the food. Let me just say this week I told them, please do that, and then they'll say, okay, 1 week it's gone, another week they're tasting 3 out of 4 food. The next week they're just tasting one out of the 5 servings that they have served. So it diminishes, it vanishes if you don't remind them, because I feel that being and like the owner of something, you have to put your effort. If you don't put your effort, then it will not grow. Your business will not grow. Wherever it may be, it can be in a retail industry, it can be in export industry, it can be any other industries, not only in the cafe industry. You have to be involved. You have to constantly remind your team, and that you should not say it in a way that's threatening. If you don't do that, you'll pay for it or you'll face these consequences. No, say it in a way that they will also feel, oh yeah, it's my duty, it's my responsibility. And I have been brought up. I have been in an environment where I was so close with my bosses there. Amazon is such that there is not a slight thing of being a boss and and an employee. It's all about leadership and a team, and you really get connected. You feel closer, and you would. That's how you enjoy your work, and that's how I've been, trained, and I would do the same to my team also. Not considering that when I come when I'm coming or when I meet them, they have to be, of course there should be a respect, but it should be a mutual respect, not only them respecting but even me respecting their work, the things they do, no? So if that connection is there, then whenever you try to correct them, they will feel, they will take it to their heart. But if you're scolding them, if you're putting pressure on them, they will not listen. That's one thing I've experienced.
Wow.
Yeah.
And to build that kind of culture,
Yeah.
it
Yes.
it's a lot of dedication because we all come from different set of understanding life, the environment that we also grow from, and I think we're getting there. I mean, as long as we don't give up on each other, and
Yes,
it's very easy to give up, isn't it?
Yes.
We-
That's true.
So we've talked about your journey. We've talked about the coffee's journey. We've spoken about how the other coffee lovers, and you've mentioned so beautifully with Atsi, the Farmer Square. Then we have D Cafe, we have Ete Cafe. How they have actually really taken.
Yeah.
Had they not been the had they not actually created this culture, the growing of our coffee and tasting our own coffee would have not happened at all.
Yes.
So this is why I always believe, and I've learned to believe this, V, that we never make it alone.
Yes, that's true.
We can never work in isolation. We can never say that, okay, perhaps we may be the first one in starting something, but along the way, we need others to also join the journey.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And this is something that in Nagaland we must actually work on, because the individualism is growing so big that me and myself, and we don't want. If I know something and you know something, we don't want to share with anybody because we fear that, hey, that fellow must be better than me. So we're very scared that, of course, there's also instances where people have actually hijacked other people's ideas.
Right.
And there are very many innocent people
Right.
who, out of excitement and passion, they forget to close a nut, and somebody already is developing that idea secretly because they have the resources, they have the manpower, they have everything. So that kind of unfortunate incidences also discourages many people not to open up, and there's mistrust. But that's not the end of life. Perhaps these experiences also helps us in getting smarter.
Yes.
We're smart. We just need to get smarter. We are intelligent. We just need to work a little bit on our intelligence. And, I realize that I think we don't use our brain too much. We use our emotion a lot. And I think that is not going to sustain us alone. So do you think personal principle and professional principle has any, relation?
As in,
like, for example, like I am very particular about I like things to be organized, even in my personal life, meaning to say I like to know what the day is going to be like, right? And charting it out, but not being rigid. There are enough room so that I know I can make time. So again, in my professional life, I like to keep it that way. It's complementing each other. I can't be something else here and I something else there. So is there any, do you think that an individual can be somebody else in a personal life and professionally you can be something else? Do you think that makes sense? Are you the same Avi, when you are at home and when you're in your workspace?
Yes, I think I am. I don't know, but I feel that why would I always think that why would I change when I go to my workplace? I believe in the same principle. That's how whatever I do at work, I use that same principle at home also. So I guess I don't know how to elaborate this, but I feel that keeping that same principle makes who you are. Makes that yourself being as a transparent guy instead of being two sides of a coin. No? Means like come to Jaishla Allah Kushe, go to Jaishla Allah the type. They're not the type, but then he's what he is. He follows the same rule or the same principle wherever he goes. So yeah, I believe in one principle that.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so nice.
yeah.
But has that actually created any conflict of being yourself sometimes?
Uh, not that I know of. Till now, I mean, I don't know. I don't that's a difficult question to answer. Uh,
Because see, we've spoken the good side of everything, right? But I'm not saying that literally give up biya ho wo lage labi no hoy. But life is full of challenges, and as you said, it makes you become more innovative, right? But is there something that we can learn from or hear from you, and if you like to share willingly, that along this journey, has there been some kind of disappointments? Because we always talk about
Acha.
success,
Acha,
right?
acha, acha, I
We
see,
never
I see,
talk
I
about
see,
the
I see,
failure
I
part,
see, I see.
yeah?
Okay. So are you talking about, like, if you're talking about my life thing, I can explain that, but means like means the struggle that I faced when I entered coffee thing, or the struggle that I went.
Generally.
Oh, generally. Okay. Yeah, of course. That's like I feel that was like a backbone for me. I mean, that's like a turning point for me. Because to be honest, um, coffee or being into business was not a was not my number one priority. Basically from a medical background. Right?
Oh,
Yeah. So
medical. Can
yeah.
you tell us more what medical?
Yeah. So uh, to be honest, I feel that maybe that really uh, pushed me to where I am right now. I struggled. I was studying in Bangalore, in a medical school for I think for 3 years, and I just couldn't move forward. There were so many uh, consequences on the way. I just couldn't move forward, and I felt that that was when I gave up. I felt that that was the darkest period of my life. I just shut doors with everyone, even with my family. I was there. I was there in Bangalore. I felt so down. I felt the that was the worst part of my life, and but my family didn't give up on me. I I responded them after I think after a week. They kept calling me. I didn't answer. They call. It was just too much for me. Just I couldn't face anyone. Because maybe yeah, because they know that I was studying this, and now they'll be questioning me what happened. And also I just closed doors from the outside world, and then I finally had the guts to talk to my family after a week, and then they encouraged me, especially my parents, that you know life is not just about being a doctor or in this medical field. There are so many ways you can be somebody, and then that's where this business line came into being. And then my dad gave me a proposal that why not you? Are you interested in any type of business or anything? So that's that time I was so low. I was just thinking, let me just say whatever it's there. But then it really helped me. It really opened the way. Then I did bachelor's in business administration from Bangalore, and then I got the opportunity to study in Cardiff University and did my. That's where I did international marketing, and then I came. So I feel that the one lesson that I've learned is when you're really really down, that it's when you're nowhere to go. There are two things you can go. First is God, because He's there to guide you. I feel that if God hadn't opened the way for me, then I wouldn't be here right now in this place, because though you may have everything in the world, the money, the luxury, the people, the resources, if God shuts your door, you cannot. So that's one thing. Second thing is family. I feel family is next to God, and then they are going to be there for you. You may have some conflicts, you may have, because that's a part of a family, misunderstanding, this and that. But when you are in need, when you are deep down lost, then your family is there. So that's the thing I've learned. That you can always count on your family whenever you need. So if it wasn't for my family guiding me, I don't know where I would have been. No? So yeah.
So nice.
Short struggle.
Wow. So I think we got a lot out of it.
Yeah.
But well, V,
Yeah.
I'm just so glad that we could do this together.
Yeah.
We're actually meeting for the first time
Yes.
like this, but I think our listeners know a lot more who you are,
Yeah.
and there's a lot more to know also. And the journey is, the journey that comes along our way, God knows better what's good for us. I mean, He has better plans than our own plans.
Yes.
And I think you are one such example that He has displayed
Yes.
His vision for you, and how you have also transited from that the turning point. And I'm so happy our conversation actually is ending towards the turning point, because that's where the beautiful story has been woven. And grateful, V, for your time,
So
for
grateful,
opening up.
Most welcome.
And I'm sure our listeners have enjoyed getting to know V, the journey of coffee, about Dr. Peter, how he saw the vision and the mission, and that coffee could actually, flourish and has the potential in our land, and how our farmers have equally. I mean, it must have not been easy at all, and it can't be even explained, the kind of struggle,
Right.
the constant conversation of convincing them that this is the right thing to do. And see, for our people, we've lived in this trust deficit, generation for so long, because of so many conflicts that we our generations. But we are from the post ceasefire kids, where we have not seen that side of. We've only heard stories.
Yes.
And some of our seniors, our elder brothers and sisters and cousins who are much older than us, they have seen that phase. But the trauma remains in all of us. That seed of trauma trickles down to every generation. But the now generation, that is our generation, and the next one that has come, we are really shifting the gears, and that is only possible because our seniors and elders have also not given up hope.
Yes,
You see,
yes.
hope is so important, V.
Yes.
To see the next day.
Right.
We may not know what happens after a week or so, but hope, even to step out of this office and see, what can I do more? Because there have been days, honestly speaking, when I listen to you. Just recently, my clothes were soaked in the bucket for 2 days.
No.
And I didn't want to get out of the bed, There are days like
Yes,
that
yes,
where you actually feel that what's the point,
Right.
And you don't know how to face your family or people that you are supposed to respond back, where you are actually responsible. But God is amazing, and I think that's where our foundation, our relationship
Yes.
with God every day helps us to come back. So coming back is where we need to focus more on that. So Thank you, V.
Yeah, most welcome.
And I hope that we get to your team someday
Sure,
to get
definitely.
to hear their voice.
You're right, great.
And if you would suggest, if any of the coffee farmers that are coming to Dimapur, we would love to hear from them, their
Okay.
experience.
All right.
And I'm sure our listeners would be interested
Great.
to know the coffee family, you see?
Sure.
And how your efforts and the farmers themselves, the teams, people who are really taking this coffee revolution, this movement into a bigger height, how it can help our people to sustain and working towards environment friendly, crops as well. So, dear listeners, thank you so much for listening in, and I hope you enjoyed V and my conversation on coffee. So basically, it was a coffee date, but unfortunately, we didn't have coffee to drink. We drank green tea. We got cold. So, but
Alright.
please visit Nagaland Coffee and taste it, try to meet the team, get the experience, and I hope this has helped in educating and advocating the coffee culture to all the listeners. And may you enjoy coffee in your style, in the way you like. And like V said, customers are king, but sometimes I have to disagree with that because I think we need to educate ourselves how to appreciate food and drinks, because it's when you do that we understand what we are being served, and this is a culture that we all need to appreciate. And it is here on this note we sign off, and this is your RJ Gugu Haralu. Continue to tune in to 90.8 Hills FM for more voices of change. Bye.
You're listening to 90.8 Hills FM Radio.
This is 90.8 Hills FM radio station, using our voice to rate your choice. Stay tuned.